All right. Shalom, first and foremost. Call halali la Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Waharakak Wadash. And it's going to be another history lesson. All right. Double honors, of course, to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. And as I always say, to all the faithful Akim throughout the four winds, continue doing the works in truth and sincerity, right? And pray and glorifying the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai all day long. And just, that's what we do. So, I want to do another video, okay? History lesson, of course, and proving that America is the ancient Roman Empire revived again. Of course, I'm going to grab a few scriptures to prove that. And I just want to bring out this article first, though. Posted on February 11th, 2014 in Lost History, the best of Washington was originally named Rome, Maryland. Now, you got brothers that always bring this out, but why not do another history lesson? Just because one brother brings it out doesn't mean you can't do it. Just because I bring something out doesn't mean another brother can't do it. You know, we're a body, all right? So we're going to keep on exposing America, keep on exposing this devil Esau Edom, and we're going to always, while the spirit is in us, to prove that America, Salak, is that new revived Roman Empire. They follow the same exact customs. They follow ancient religions, philosophies, beliefs, all right, birthdays, all that shit goes back to the ancient world. But America incorporates that in their society, right? But anyway, Washington was originally named Rome, Maryland. And by the way, the word Rome or the name Rome came from Japhites, not even no Edomites. That name originally came from Japhetic people, which were dark-skinned people. All right, till this day, they're still dark-skinned. Of course, some might look lighter than others, but type in the Samoans, which are the people living in the Polynesian, around that Polynesia, whatever they call that, Hawaii, all right, around these various islands. And you got them here in America. You got them in Los Angeles or California. You got a lot of Japhites in California. Dark skin. They be all involved in gangs. Look it up. They're dark skinned. But they're not Israelites though. But anyway, it came from from Ramallus. It was named after Ramallus, which he himself was a Japhite. It didn't come from Esau. Esau is not original. There's no originality with Esau Edom. Anyway, Washington was originally named Rome, Maryland. Well, one of the estates which made up the original city. Hold on, got to do this right quick. All right, anyway, one of the estates which made up the original city of Washington was called Rome. Have you heard about Rome, Maryland? Probably not, so read on. Right. D.C., right, the District of Columbia, has an interesting historical connection to the city of Rome. This might be one of the more fascinating pieces of local trivia we have ever come across. Right, look what it shows here. The Rome Coliseum, which you have coliseums in America. You have stadiums, coliseums, Nassau Coliseum. Different coliseums, but you have like Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden is something that you would see back in the ancient Roman Empire, right? The structures, the building structures, right? Everything is the same, right? Everything goes back to the Roman Empire or ancient, all these ancient kingdoms. D.C. has an interesting historical connection to the city of Rome. This might be one of the more fascinating pieces of local trivia we have ever come across. A long time ago, way before the city was in the thoughts, right before it was in the thoughts of our forefathers back in the 17th century, there was a large estate in the area of about 400 acres. So a long time ago, way before the city was in the thoughts of our founding fathers, back in the 17th century, there was a large estate in the area of about 400 acres. All right. This farm occupied the land southeast of Georgetown, then a part of Maryland. The man who owned the land was fond of Italy and decided to name the estate Rome in honor of the city. Let's stop right there. Let's grab Proverbs chapter 16. Now I'm holding that already. Revelation 17. Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 1. The preparations of the heart. What's that word for heart in the Hebrew is lab, L-A-B, which just simply means your mind. So the preparations of the mind in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So whatever you say comes from the Lord. So Esau named Rome after the city of Rome in Italy. That came from the Lord. So the Most High made or had you Edomites name it Rome, Maryland, because what? He put it in you to name it Rome, Maryland. Because the scriptures tell you this in prophecy, which a lot of you Edomites, right, name lands after yourselves. This is Psalms 49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is America was named after a Edomite. Well, a map maker named it after an Edomite. What's his name? Something Martin, whatever his name, Mueller. I forget his name, but he named it after Amerigo Vespucci. Okay. Psalms 49 and verse 11, just like Africa, Leo Scipio Africanus, which was a Roman general during the time of the Second Punic War against Hannibal Barca. He named Africa after himself. Asia, which was, I believe it was Leo Scipio Africanus' brother, Asiaticus, named the land of Asia. Right? Till this day, you got Africa, Asia, America. Anyway, and you got like places like Colombia, right? Colombia was named after Christopher Columbus. The island of Hispaniola was named after the Spaniards. And the list goes, a lengthy list. We could go on and on for days. Too bad I got a bad memory, but I got to look these things up, but it's true. Psalms 49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses, whose houses? Esau, Edom, America, right, shall continue forever. So they think America is going to go on forever, that America is not going to be destroyed, that everybody's going to live a good, happy, peaceful life in this new world order. Nah, it ain't happening. And their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And by the way, upstate New York, you have a place called Romalis, right? Which came from the original Greeks, which were these Japhetic people, right? The Japhites, the nation of Japheth. And you have a place upstate New York called Romalis. Look it up. You have Memphis, Tennessee, which Memphis goes back to Egypt, I believe lower or upper Egypt, whatever it is. And you got all these different places, right? You got Babylon, New York. You got New Egypt, New Jersey. You got all these places named after Edomites or even the ancient Egyptians, the Hamites. But Esau, Edom named these places. But anyway, they call their lands after their own names. So simple as that. Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 1. The preparations of the heart or mind in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So anything you say comes from the Lord. Anything we say comes from the Lord. There's no such thing as free will. So the Most High prepares that. Let's grab, matter of fact. Shit. Hold on. Damn it. I had another precept written down here. I believe the night seasons. Instruct me in a nice season. That's a good one too. They're all good. It's the one in Job. He sealeth up the instruction in man. But brothers know what scripture I'm talking about. For those that don't know, all right, look it up, But in Job, the Most High puts that instruction in these Edomites. Everything they do comes from the Lord. If they created the internet, which they did, it came from the Lord. Technology comes from the Lord. He created all this. Anyone out here in society says or speaks comes from the Lord. If you're a scoffer, it came from the Lord. Every idle word that men so speak, you should give account in the day of judgment. So every time you scoff the prophets or mock us, that came from the Lord. Showing you that nobody on this earth is in control of their own destiny. The Most High controls everybody's footsteps. Anyway, now it says here, a long time ago, way before the city was in the thoughts of our founding fathers, back in the 17th century, there was a large estate in the area of about 400 acres. This farm occupied the land southeast of Georgetown, then a part of Maryland, right? Because Georgetown is down there, all right? Overland, Maryland, whatever it is, with the Washington Bullets used to play, or the Washington Wizards play at. Whatever their name is now, but the man, or Georgetown University, the Georgetown Hoyas, whatever, the man who owned the land was fond of Italy and decided to name the estate Rome. You ain't decide shit. The Most High made you name it Rome, Maryland, in honor of the city. The small body of water bordering it to the south was originally called Goose Creek, but then took the new name Tiber Creek, after the Tiber in Rome. Why? Because it was the Tiber goes back to Tiberius Caesar, one of the Roman emperors. Tiberius Caesar, right? I believe he came during the time when Yahushua was crucified. I believe that was Tiberius Caesar. But whichever Roman emperor that was, he came, it came on the scene, all right? I mean, it was whatever. If it was Tiberius, it was. If it was another, whoever. But it goes back to these Roman Edomites. All right, Tiberius Caesar. So he named it also Tiber Creek. Originally called Goose Creek, but then took the new name Tiberius Creek after the Tiber in Rome. Till this day, it's still there. Look it up, the Tiber Creek in Rome. Or the Tiber River or Tiber, whatever, but look it up. Of course, the story wouldn't be complete without mentioning that the landowner's name happened to be Francis Pope. According to an article I came across in the Washington Post from October 7th, 1883. The land was laid out and acquired by Pope on June 5th, 1663. Wow, and of course, it goes on. Let's read a little more. Also, legend has it that Francis, okay. The final coincidence, of course, is a modern addition to the story, as the current Pope residing that I believe it's to say that the Vatican holds the name Pope Francis, and he is the first Pope ever to come from the Americas. So while the title of this post is slightly misleading, a large plot of land which would eventually become part of Washington was named Rome. Okay? So Maryland was once called Rome, or it was called Rome, Maryland. This is Revelation. Let me do it here. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right, matter of fact, this is not the one I want to grab. Hold on. It's Revelation 13. Now, which one I want to grab in Revelation 13? Okay, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. It's speaking about the ancient Roman Empire's deadly wound was healed when Esau Edom came back into power during the Renaissance period, the 1400s, 1400s, right? The ancient Roman Empire was revived. And all the world wandered after the beast. Okay? So in that beast, it's speaking about this ancient Roman Empire, or the revived, which is the NATO, the European Union, and America, which it sits upon that. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to get. Salaki. That was, okay, now I can grab it. Which America sits upon the, the NATO and the E. They carry this beast, this whore, which is America. All right, you have the European Union and you have America, all right, which is not the European Union, but the European Union carries America and the NATO. But it says here, and there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, right? Because America is all over the place. They have over 800 plus military base, or well, over, of course, it's plus, over 800 military bases across the whole globe, right? With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, right? Which America feeds nations democracy, right? They feed these nations. There was a time that in Iraq, for example, America, Iraq wasn't influenced like they are influenced now with America going in there, right? When they so-called took down Saddam Hussein for weapons of mass destruction. Iraqi, like the people in Iraq, they're more into Western culture than they are their own culture now. You look it up, man. A lot of these Ishmaelites, these Arabs, are fucked up. They're mentally and spiritually gone. Even what they normally would follow, which is Islam, but they're not like following like like they were back 50, 60, 70 years ago. But when this devil, man, started branching off and started conquering all these different territories over there in what they call the Middle East, everybody hasn't been the same ever since America brought their democracy to these different lands. And it's true. All right, Africa, you got McDonald's in Africa. You got all these food chains in the eastern part of the world, which were never there 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, right? Because America spreads that cancer in democracy throughout the whole entire world. Democracy, religion, you name it. All right? With whom the kings of the earth, right? Everybody, have committed fornication. You tied in with Habakkuk the 2nd chapter as well. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, right? Spiritually drunk, meaning these philosophies. The wine represents the philosophies, right? With the wine of her fornication. So okay. And verse, I believe it's 17 and 15. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Right? So America sits upon these nations, right? And who carries America? The NATO and the EU, or the European Union. Right? It's all connected. It all goes back to the ancient Roman Empire. This is the new revived Roman Empire. Let's look at that word revived, matter of fact. Revived. Revived. Revived, to restore to life or consciousness. So the ancient Roman Empire was restored to life, whose deadly wound was healed. All right, when you read Revelation 20, which I'm not going to grab, all right, this devil was in the Caucasus or the Caucasian mountains for 1,000 years. Not all Edomites. Not all Edomites was there because you had them subjected in Europe. Okay, they were under subjection in different parts of Europa or Europe, right? Restored to life or consciousness. But you had a lot of these Edomites flee into the mountains, or because, we were pursuing them. All these different nations, really mainly the Moors. Okay, the Moors were pursued and chased these devils into the mountains. When you go into prophecy, it calls Esau, Edom, which was Cain. He has the mark of Cain, which is leprosy. But Esau, Edom, Cain, nonetheless, they were called nomads or fugitives and vagabonds. They were driven into the mountains. They have no real dwelling place. They just go out throughout the whole world and conquer people by rape, rob, and violence. Right? One of their blessings is the sword, which is violence. This represents their violent nature. Anyway, being around, bring to life, reinvigorate, revitalize, refresh. Right, refresh. Give new strength or energy to reinvigorate. Right? Just like we call upon Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, at one particular time we weren't calling upon those names because we discontinued from our heritage. But it was made refreshed. It was refreshed to us again to call on those names. Because back in when the apostles was around 2,000 plus years ago, we called on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Now we call upon Yahweh Yahweh Shai again, because it was refreshed to us, right? And that Greek word would be kainos, something refreshed. Right? Give new strength or energy to reinvigorate, right? Full definition. You ain't got to give full definition. Bring out what you bring out, and that's it. As long as the point was made, that's it. Refreshed. Right? North America, for someone to refill the container. Okay. Replenish. Refresh. Like the scriptures say, the Most High renews the face of the world, of the earth. That's reincarnation. Right? You were here back then. The prophets were always here. Just we were giving different bodies, but the same spirit resides in the men of the Lord. Just doesn't, just you were given a new body, reincarnation, back in the flesh, back, incarnation in the flesh, carne. Right? The Spanish word for flesh or meat is carne. All we're in these bodies, these fleshly bodies, and that spirit was put back in the men of the Lord. All right? The spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. All right? So I ain't got to get too far in this video here. That's enough. All right, I proved my point, but I ain't got to grab over 50 scriptures. That's enough, With that, shalom. So this the same exact. Matter of fact, I will. My back. I want to grab something here. This Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. Let's grab this right quick. Let's highlight it. Okay, Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Okay, the ancient world is the new world. The new world goes back to the ancient world. Same exact thing. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay, shalom.